Hello, welcome to another focus lesson from the Masterclass Vienna. I'm going to talk about the bow hole today, how to set up a bow hole that keeps you pain-free and produces a good sound. So basically, we have to be aware that the bow only weighs between 70 and sometimes 90 at the most grams, which is less than a regular bar of chocolate. So it's not a very heavy thing, which means you don't have to worry about dropping it or thinking you have to hold on to it in a really tight way, because it's just very, very light. For the basic feeling of how to hold the bow, think of a door handle. You never hold the door handle, you just put your hand around it and then press the door handle down. So all you do is you find a position that the bow sits in your hand, rather than sort of worrying that it drops and becomes sort of really tense up to your shoulder. If you take the bow, the best way of getting a feeling for that is turning it around and putting it in your hand like this, so that you have a feeling, A, how small it is and how light it is. So don't worry about not dropping it. Get a feeling for what the bow actually weighs just by holding it like this. And then you start putting your fingers sort of where it is, on the little metal ring that you probably have, and then like this. And then you forget that, and then you actually turn it round. And you hold it with your left hand, and then you try to recreate that feeling that you just had in the other direction. Don't worry about position yet. You just sort of put the bow in your hands and try and get a feeling in your hand. Don't ever do that. Just, like this. And then you start sorting the position of your fingers. Yeah? And a lot of bows, this one doesn't, that's kind of stupid now, but a lot of bows have a little eye here. And what you do is you put your pinky on that eye and you sort of build it from there forward. That usually means that your ring finger goes on this metal, and then the middle finger ends up on the hair, that's fine. And the index finger is somewhere here on the leather or on the metal, depending on how big your hand is. And that defines where the thumb goes. Now the thumb is always the big issue for cellists. I've got a rather short thumb. That means I can't do if you read some books it says you have to actually bend your thumb. I can't do that because my thumb is too short for that. So I just play like this all the time because it's the only way I can do it. But if you turn the round and you start by the book, it would actually be like this, that your thumb is really around a curved position. I play like this because, as I said, my thumb is too short, and the thumb goes on the edge of the frog here, and that with the position in your hand. And then suddenly what you can do is you put your index finger in the middle of the bow, and then you can start experimenting, because you see how light the bow is, and you get a feeling how far around the stick you want your fingers. That also depends on the size of your hand. And basically it's these three fingers, actually only these two, that really hold the bow, and the rest of the hand just stabilizes it. You'll see a lot of cellists who have solutions for this bit. Now I have got this rubber version here. You see other people who have a leather around the frog. That's all for slipping when you sweat and you really have to play long pieces and sort of, with orchestra or with piano, and you have to produce a big sound. Then you might want to think about how not to slip into the frog here and lose your bow grip. But for starting, you don't need any of this, so you can find your own position just by experimenting with this. And whenever you feel you're getting tight, just support the bow so that you never start doing anything like this, because that'll give you cramps, and also that's not good for the sound. Don't forget to click subscribe. See you at the next focus lesson from Masterclass.